Look at all this loot! DJ, none for you! Welcome back, I'm Captain Xavier, and I'm still a shameless fan of getting free stuff, especially free awesome blasters in my colors. So when I saw that Bu Blasters had the Zhengwei Qi Baize S100 in my colors, I asked them to send me one, and they said sure. So here it is. Now, I had acquired one of these from Out of Darts previously, and I don't know if I ever did a review on it. But it doesn't matter, because I'm going to do a review of this one. Let's take a look at what's in the box. Then we'll fling some foam with it, and I'll give you my thoughts. Isn't that just lovely? So we got some darts. I don't know if I'm supposed to get more. It looks like more would fit. But they've sent me 8 darts, it looks like. A ridiculously long barrel. Ain't that fancy. Looks like it could easily take a worker scar. Oh, that is an unpleasant noise. Threaded barrel, long barrel, very nice. We've got some big old wood screw looking things and a Allen wrench. That's for the priming handles, because this is side as bolts on the side rather than a pump grip, which we'll see what I think of that. The blaster itself and instructions that I can't read. Oh, they do have them in English as well. They've got the instruction, the how to put it together. Pretty cool. All right, let's get this thing put together. Right. I got it together. Had a little bit of trouble with the thread on the barrel. I don't know if I buggered it up while getting it in or if it was buggered up to begin with. Either way, I was able to fix it. No problem. I did also open it up at one point and had it primed and shot a piece across the room, but I found it. There's no need to panic. It's now working quite beautifully, and to demonstrate that, we're going to go to the range, and then I'll talk about it. Right, we're here on the outdoor range because it is a lovely day. We'll see how long that lasts. And we got to load it up. Magazine holds 8 rounds. I've got Dart Zone bamboos because they're bright and green, and hopefully they'll show up a little better. And we're going to blink. I don't have an optic on it, but it does have a scar barrel, so I should be able to hit something. Ping. Can I hit the 50? There's a deer in the background. Can you see the deer, children? I will not be shooting at the deer. There we go. How about the 75? I got it! I hit a bottle. I got a bottle. I hit another bottle. Oh, a little low. A neat feature that this blaster has that unfortunately it won't have once I replace the magazine, which I almost certainly will, is it does actually have hold open on an empty magazine. So now this thing is kind of bolt action. It's not exactly bolt action, not the traditional sense. It's got a bolt on the side you prime instead of a pump grip, which it would be very easy to design a pump grip that slid on this Picatinny rail and just had links that came up and locked in there. It would work. It wouldn't be too difficult. Let's go for the 50 again. Oh, a little high. There it is. Bottles. Oh. There we go. Bing. 75. Oh, I got him. Oh, going for a bottle. I got him. Oh, round's complete. This is an incredibly pleasant blaster to fire. I wanted to plink some more. Let's go for the 75 one more time. Got it. 50. 50. 25. Ping, ping, ping. I dig it. Go for some more bottles. Oh, near miss. There we go. Oh. Missed it by half an inch on either side. This is lovely. This is fabulous. Let's go talk about it. Now, before we talk about it, I'll get you your FIPS. I know how much you love your FIPS. 207, 204, 201, 201, 204, and we're out of rounds. The bolt has caught. Neat. Now let's talk about it. Right! Let's talk about it. Well, it's hitting over 200 out of the box. That is lovely, at least with bamboos. It probably hit 180 with non-bamboo darts, give or take. But that's still very impressive for out-of-the-box performance. We will talk about improvements that can be made to that in a bit. It does have a couple of other neat features. It's got Picatinny rail all over the place, which is neat. It does have an extendable stock. You twist this and the stock extends. It also gives you access to something else we will talk about. It does have a safety, though it's not the best. It's a little wobbly, flimsy, janky, rattly. I'm not a fan of the way they implemented the safety, but it does work. It's just not great. Non-ambidextrous mag release. I don't know why they kind of made it look like it was ambidextrous on this side, but it's not. It is a right-handed mag release. You do have to have the bolt back. It is a proprietary mag, and it did have hold open, this little tab here that you can maybe see, right there. When the magazine is empty, it comes up and pops out, and that was engaging a lock inside the blaster that would lock the bolt when the magazine was empty. But while I was attempting to demonstrate that, the lock part popped out because I slammed the bolt forward and broke it out. So don't do that if you want to maintain that feature. Though having it lock on an empty magazine is neat. It lets you know when you're out, so you're not going to dry fire the blaster. You can deprime the blaster, so that's not really, a huge issue, but and there is padding on the plunger system, so again, not as much of a problem. That's a good design. That's something I like. What I don't like about the mag is it is a proprietary mag. It's not a Talon mag. It's completely proprietary, but there does already exist a 3D printable magwell adapter that turns it into Talon mags. It then doesn't use the magazine release at all, except to release the adapter. It just becomes a friction fit Talon mag, which is nice. So that is a neat feature. Long. You'll notice this is a long blaster. This is, Swift length. This is Mark IV length. The barrel extends all the way up to about there, and then this is a housing to protect a worker scar barrel, which fits perfectly. I don't know if you can actually see that I have one in there, but I do have a worker scar in there, which is, why it's quite accurate already, which is very nice. Plenty of power with that long barrel. One thing, as I think I mentioned earlier, it is a bit of a reach to get to the prime with your primary hand. Usually with a bolt action weapon, you hold the front with your offhand and operate the bolt with your primary hand. You let go of the trigger and you reach it. And it's a bit of a stretch to reach it. It's not impossible, it's just not comfortable. Whereas if you let go with your other hand, you can easily reach it. And because this blaster is so light, you can easily hold it up with your back hand. But I will definitely probably be adding the same thing I added on my other one, where I just designed a 3D printed bolt so that I could easily reach it with my primary hand. Made it much more usable for either hand. That's one other thing that I didn't terribly like about it. Love the design in general, love the colors, of course. One thing I discovered that was a little bit kind of odd is it does have a ported plunger tube. So there is a hole in there that the plunger head does go back behind. So you are losing some power out of that. Now you could, I don't know, maybe tape over it or something. I don't know. The fact that we're still getting 200 FPS with a really light prime tells you just how big this plunger tube is. I mean, it's caliber in size, but why they felt the need to port it that way, I have no idea. I don't know if my original one has that. This one I can easily rotate the plunger tube. On that one I can't, so I might have to open it up if I want to see if that's ported. I think it was, and I think I covered it, and that's why I can no longer rotate it. But in general, a delightful blaster. I'm gonna not hit my camera. All right, so the final feature that this one has that my original one that I got from Out of Darts doesn't is that if you take the stock all the way off, and easy access to the main spring. Push in and twist. And there is your main spring. It is rubber coated and it's not particularly heavy. It is a fairly weak spring, but it is a long spring. For those of you that are no doubt going to ask, no, it can't take a K26. It takes too small of a spring. If you saw the K26 special yesterday, this is a skinny spring blaster. However, because it's a skinny spring blaster, there are plenty of upgraded springs for all the various skinny spring blasters. Pretty sure this is a hairier upgrade spring, and it fits perfectly, which is super handy. Real quick, let's go grab some fresh FIPS. Right, fresh FIPS with the heavier spring. It's not an unpleasant prime, but 300. What, a 298. 293, the darts are catching in the net. 295. 296. Yeah, that's a thing. Yeah, so now we're hitting 300 with a simple spring upgrade. No other change to the internals. So this is a solid blaster. It's, like I said, just a pleasure to shoot. It's pleasant to shoot, which is not something I can say of every high-powered spring that I've fired. Even with that heavy spring, it's still very comfortable to prime. It's not a heavy prime. It's not a hard prime. You're not going to wear yourself out too easily. A longer bolt would be nice, which is also why I will certainly print the extended bolt link so that I can prime it with my left hand more easily, and I might look into making a longer bolt, but a pump grip would be nice, but that would be a little bit more design work than I am prepared for, but still very, very pleasant. This one I will be leaving that heavy spring in. I will also be printing the replacement magwell. I will be leaving that out because without this magazine, there's nothing to disengage this sometimes, and it just is always locked. This one I'll probably leave the safety lock in just because, why not? Yeah, this was the one that came to me from Baize Blasters, and I like it. Now, as I said, I bought the first one I bought from Out of Darts. They weren't offering to send me one. I just really wanted one, and so I just straight up bought it. And I will often do that if I can get something from Out of Darts and from Baize Blasters. I will do so because surprisingly, there's almost always something different about them. So the one from Out of Darts does not have the easy spring replacement. That cap doesn't have it at all. Performance is exactly the same, but it doesn't have that. It also came with this fancy little cheek rest, which this one didn't have. It just wasn't in the box. I don't know if it was supposed to be, or if it fell out, or if I lost it. I certainly haven't seen it lying around. I checked the box, it wasn't in there. I already took the safety out of this one because it wasn't working. I think it got misassembled when they put it together. So this one has the extended bolt. It has the magwell adapter, so it does take talons. They just friction in, which the design isn't great. They could use a little bit better design work on the magwell adapter, but it works. So I definitely need to get an optic for this one, and I might transfer the cheek rest over, maybe not, we'll see. As a side note, another one of the differences between the one I got from Out of Darts and this one is the spring that came with it. This one, super creaky. And there's a lot of weird spring rattle and it makes a lot of noise when you fire it. This one didn't have that, and I suspect that is because the spring was completely rubber coated. So I will be transferring this spring into here, and as long as I'm still getting the 200, I think that will get rid of that spring noise. So yeah, that's why I shop around. But I like having one that's hitting 200 and one that's hitting 300. They're just lovely blasters. So yeah, there's my thoughts. I think I've blathered enough. I'll try to edit this into something coherent. There's been a lot of takes, a lot of noise, and a lot of stuff. I'm gonna take this one out and plink with it with the 300 because that sounds like fun. So, thank you for watching.